Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3G Theater, where the magic of the silver screen meets the charm of Fallout. Broadcasting to you from the heart of Charleston. We're here to take you on a delightful journey. Now let's meet our host. What's going on, everybody? And wow, what an honor. I wanted to, since this is the first one, I'm kind of doing a little bit more explaining and crap like that, so just bear with me. Um, so yeah, on the 4th of June, I got a message from TNG saying that he had a prostitution for me. He put it in the general chat on our channel. And then I realized I was just waking up. I didn't have my glasses on, and I looked again, and it said proposition, which is much, much less exciting. But anyway, we started talking and everything. Discussed what I wanted to do, and he liked some of the ideas, it seems. So, we'll leave it at that. I mean, that's basically the gist of it. Friday the 13th, he put out his video announcing that I was going to be the one taking it over, and you guys immediately started getting your submissions in. And, that's what this is about. It's so we can inspire others and everything. But it's an honor. But it has been definitely a hectic week. I made a camp and custom world, that way you guys could see the exterior of this theater, because I did want to build in downtown Charleston. But the actual studio, that one, the one that we're in, this is in adventure mode, so if you guys wanted to swing by or whatever. But yeah, this wasn't some like long drawn out process or anything. This happened real quick, and until Friday, I didn't even know that it was going to be me for sure. He could have changed his mind and told me to go eat a bag of dicks. But yeah, here we are. So there's a little backstory. Thank you guys. Now let's get to the show. Hey, Trav, can you move the camera a little bit closer?
I can't. The wheels are stuck, man. Here, let me try something. Hold on.
Are you sure you can't just push it a little harder?
Come on. I'm trying. I'm trying. Hold on a second. The wheels are stuck.
Just shove it in me.
Oh, shit. Sorry, man. Hey, at least we got the color fixed and it's not blurry anymore.
Well, we did something right. Enough of the antics already. So let's take a quick look at the studio. Now, obviously, in the intro, you've seen the outside of this theater. That's built in custom world. I did that. That way we had an exterior part of the building. But for the interior, I thought, hey, we need a studio or something like that. And I built it in a vault in adventure mode, so anybody can come by and check it out or whatever. It's not this big, beautiful build or anything like that. It is made to be a night show set, as you can see. So welcome to the new top 5 kind of studio. We're going to have some fun and antics, and we've got a couple of guests today we're very fortunate to have. We've got Cow and Baby 902 and Humble Trav. They're going to be helping me judge today. And unfortunately, Cowan's not available to do the voiceover as we watch the video, but he is, turning in his ballot and his votes. And yeah, I think you guys have waited long enough. So let's check out these camps. And thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. All right, so let's check these out. This first one is by Goldfinger76. It was inspired by Leroy971. And spoiler alert, I have seen this one before in a video. And you're in for a surprise and a nice treat if you haven't seen this yet. This is an amazing yacht. I'm gonna, let it speak for itself. Check it out.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Stitch. It's a really good job she did here on this build. I like the use of the snow machine in the back there. That was a nice touch.
No, it's definitely a really, really clean build. If you look at the alignment of the objects and stuff, you don't see a bunch of stuff staggered all over. It's not pixel perfect like Moonlight Cowboy would say, but it's phenomenal. Really, really well done. And the use of the lighting is absolutely great.
It really is. Yeah, there's that snow machine in action. Looks like a wake, you know?
That would be a huge yacht to be a jet boat. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
Now, this is really well done.
I agree. I really like the radar dish on top there, using those railings, the vault railings, and that, I think it's an alien mainframe.
Yeah, that little satellite array that they made, that's really cool.
Yeah, nice little wheelhouse. Everything has its place. I like it.
Well, and with the new building restrictions that are coming, this is going to be a lot easier. Now, can you imagine trying to build this like toward the beginning of the game? Because, more bugs have popped up. It's given us the ability to make things in different ways. This would have been a freaking nightmare at the beginning of the game to try and create this. And
Oh,
now,
yeah.
we do have the ability to do this relatively easy, at least get stuff out onto the water. But phenomenal job. I can't wait to see the new building restrictions because I think we're going to see a lot more of crazy stuff like this.
Oh, it's going to be insane. I can't wait to see what some of these top builders in 76 come up with, you know?
Well, and I get the prestige of, hey, I know how to do the trickery and stuff like that, but for a lot of people that just don't have the ability or the time to learn all that stuff, I think this is going to be really good for the building community. Gives us
I
more
agree.
versatility and not the Akiras. Good Lord. I mean, I hate seeing some of their builds, and I say that with all due respect. It baffles me sometimes. I'll end up watching them, multiple times because you're trying to figure out what the heck are they doing.
Yeah. Like, what is that item? What is that merge, you
Right,
know?
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
why I hate it because it's like I just spent, 45 minutes watching a 3-minute video. How does that work?
Like, look at these walls. The beds found a great use for them. Those new supply crates, really nice touch. I like that. Got the steam coming out there.
Well, in the Akiras, they've used the beds they've done that before, and it's for that animation, obviously. But those beds in a lot of my builds are just absolutely useless. And Trav, you mentioned this before when we were watching it. That vendor bot in the forklift, that's brilliant.
Yes. I
Um,
love that.
but back to those beds real quick. I absolutely hate those things in a lot of my builds. And the Akiras, they've used them several times in their wall fabrications. And I think, man, that's like the best use for those things.
I
And
agree.
that's just personal opinion. I just don't like the way they look. But for stuff like that, it fits perfect.
Let's see what they got going on the inside here.
Lots of craziness. That's what's going on.
I like those brother. Believe that's the Brotherhood roof.
Now, that little simulated kind of foundry with the green goo and then the rad kelp, that orange and then that green, the contrast of it, it looks really nice, especially as they back out. You can see them, the colors merging, and
Yeah.
obviously the archway in there. I don't know where they get some of their inspiration from. It's out the mind of a maniac.
And look at this, the Epsilon power armor display with the blinkies in there, giving it that effect of because you put glass behind another glass, you can no longer see the blinky glass. And just look at the effect. The final finished product is amazing.
Yeah,
And I
and
believe
I'll
that's
go ahead.
I believe that's a symptomatic too, right there. Yeah, that's the top of a symptomatic.
Yeah, a lot of people might not know that either, Trav, that if you take a transparent item and then put it inside of another glass item, sometimes it makes that transparency, it has weird effects on it. So that's something for you guys to play around with if you haven't. Phenomenal job, Akira's. It's unbelievable. And then busting my Ashley. Look at how whimsical and cute this is.
I like that shooting target on the front of the boat there. And I'm not sure what you're trying to pull off here, Ashley, with these stairs. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a whimsical mast or if you're using that as your roof, but whatever it is, it's a great look and I really like it.
Yeah, I like this build a lot. It's really, really adorable. And I love seeing stuff like this because my mind doesn't work like that. I either do a clean build or T Noodle called me out on it. He said it hyper realistic. Um, I like that lore friendly, but to do something just completely out there like this, my mind just doesn't work that way. I need to work on that creativity aspect. It's so cool that people like her can do this, though.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Stitch.
And look at that flex, all the fish up there. I'm not even talking about the RNG I've had on that. It's been awful. I think Todd Howard hates me.
Yeah, how long did it take you to catch that
I, we're,
leatherback?
we're not talking about it. Okay, that's a conversation for me and my therapist. All right.
Okay. I love these chandeliers. Look at that. That's a nice merge.
Yeah, that merge is awesome. That works way too well, way better than it should. That is cool.
That was genius.
Busting My Ashley and another one to watch is Widow Bite. Their interiors are really, really well done. I mean, I've never walked into or seen, any one of their camps that the interior was disappointing or anything. They're always crazy. Like the hammock bunk bed thing right there. That's a really creative idea. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Right there. This is a perfect thumbnail that depicts a really cool scene. And
Captain's quarters.
that's one thing that we were discussing behind the scenes. Like when you're judging these things, you kind of try to break the camp up into different scenes. Like, this room's a scene or whatever it may be. And it helps you kind of analyze it further because there's a lot going on here.
Like this is another perfect scene. I like the touch with the carnivorous plants with the lights merged into them, sunk into the water, so just the top of them are showing.
Yeah, no, this is really, really cute. Lighting up the
And the
plants and
light,
stuff, that was big.
yes, I was just gonna say that lighting up the fauna and the floral stuff. I like it.
Very cool. There's a lot of times I wish my brain kind of worked more in this aspect where I could just create something really off the wall or just not normal, you know. Uh, but for whatever reason, I lack the inspiration there. I'm jelly, super jelly. Fantastic freaking job though. And then this one right here, Dark One. I have never seen that name pop up before. And check this build out. There's offset foundations, offset walls. This is really, really well done. And offsetting that foundation, you can see that, it creates depth with those walls.
Right. It's not just a box.
Right. And then using like the wavy Willards pillars like that just to make it stand out adds more texture, because it's sticking out from the structure. It's really well done. I
I like
don't
the little lights in the front there on the foundation.
So I don't want to say anything because we're not in there yet. But when we go into that kitchen, you guys need to pay attention because there's something really, really cool in there. I thought it was about to show it.
I also like the beeswax candles and those lanterns there on those end tables next to the couch.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice touch. These cabinets right here, everything's really, really well lined up. There's a couple of them that are off, but nothing crazy. Um, but they just look so well done. And then that range top, Trav was pointing that
Yes.
out. It's very well done. I like that look. It was clever using that red rocket table like that. That way they had that red pattern.
Yeah, and the European style washer and dryer in the kitchen cabinets.
Now that staircase is going to get shown again here in a second. That is the perfect visual representation of OCD, and I'm saying that in the kindest of ways. I know, trust me. Um, there was a lot of time and effort put in there.
Most
Nothing's
definitely.
nothing's ever absolutely 100% perfect, but these are really, really close. Very well done. That was a lot of care put into that.
I like the use of these doors to make it like a sliding door for the shower. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, and we had discussed that. We didn't know if they were intentionally staggered like that to give the appearance of sliding doors or if it was because of the blueprint. Um, if you don't know, if you do a double door blueprint like that, a lot of times the doors will be staggered, and there's a way to correct that, but a lot of people may not realize that. So when they set those down, they're always staggered, and we don't know if that's the case or not here. Um, in any situation, though, it looks really good.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, this is a nice clean build. I love those cabinets in the kitchen, though. That really stands out.
Yeah. I also like the fireplace over there merged into the wall, and so you got the TV up there.
Yeah,
This
this
range
is
though does it for me.
it's a really pretty, yeah, the kitchen. It's real nice.
Mm. I'm a kitchen guy. I'm a fat boy at heart, so I gotta put a little extra love into my kitchens, you know.
That's same, man. I'm a foodie and I love cooking, so as stupid as it sounds that I would transfer to a game, I love looking at kitchens. And then of course the demon child, Widowbite. And I say the demon child because she left her mouse arrow up on the screen and it confused the holy crap out of me while I was editing. I kept moving my mouse. I thought there was something wrong with it. There's a couple scenes though, so you brat, you kept me
It got me.
trying. Yeah, I was trying to figure that one out for a minute.
Yeah, it got me too. I love these windmill fans on the back of this, like it's pushing the houseboat. I thought that was a nice touch. I really like that. Clever idea, Widowbite. Good job on that.
Yeah, I definitely like that. And we were again talking in the background behind the scenes that, sometimes when you try to get a big object like that to merge into something, sometimes it goes right into place like it was supposed to be there, and then other times it's an absolute freaking nightmare to figure out. Now, we don't know what the case is here, but it came out really, really good, and I hope for your sake it wasn't too bad.
And I really like this radiation barrel tabletop on that dinghy there. Yeah, that was a nice touch as well. And the nice scrappiness of the fence, mixing the paddock fences with the white picket fences
Yeah, no, I'm
and
not
that
gonna
balcony.
lie. Because, we get inspiration from each other. I am totally stealing that that rad barrel idea with that corrugated metal on there, I'm totally going to use that as a walkway. I am stealing that idea. That was awesome.
I might have to steal it too, Widow Bite.
But like
Look
I
at this.
was saying earlier, I'm sorry. The interior, man, crazy.
Yeah, good job sticking to the theme. A lot of nautical stuff in here. You got the kelp curtains. I really like that octopus sticking through the wall for some reason. I'm pretty sure that was intentional, and it's a good, nice little touch, you know? Who would look at that aquarium pillar and say, "Hey, I'm gonna use that as wall to."
And that's a good point. We were again behind the scenes talking that, we get items in the game and sometimes you're just like, what the hell am I going to do with this? This looks terrible. I'm never going to use that. And then like this, they implemented the fishing thing and it's, oh wow, that item, I might be able to use that for something.
And real quick, I just want to point out those items on that surfboard are not floating. And if you have the surfboard, you know anything you put on there floats. So it didn't look like anything was floating. So she definitely took the time to sit there and make sure it was well placed, you know?
Yeah, I mean everything's well placed. Look at how good these scenes are put together.
And for whatever reason, that sink in the display cabinet works. I like that.
It's very wastelandy, it's not something you would normally do, but in the wasteland, you're going to repurpose everything you can, and it fits.
Yeah. Definitely some wrecking ball action and play there to make that happen.
No, I love this build. This is really, really cute and well put together. And again, it's Widow Bite, their interiors, and you can mark my words, go look at any of their builds. All the interiors are just way over the top and just awesome.
Insane. Really good job on the interior and the exterior.
Yeah, and while you're fact checking me and looking at her videos, give her a like and a sub. So now, using the best technology that Fallout 76 has to offer, we're going to take the three judges' ballots, combine them all into the mathematical algorithm, and let it figure out who is actually our winner. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted here. Cowan, uh, you're making this really, really awkward, buddy. I mean, I love you and everything. All right, let's just check out Miss Bigfoot's vault while we wait. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a great day and staying safe in the wasteland. We've got another camp tour for you guys to enjoy. This is Mrs. Bigfoot once again with another great build. This is the vault that she did in the root cellar. It is max budget. She might have one or two flamingo units, but that's about it. But I'm going to shut my horror mouth and you go ahead and you enjoy your tour. Stick around. We've got a lot more of these coming up from a bunch of different people. I hope you're having a great day. Love ya. All right. The moment you've been waiting for. And no, all the top fives aren't going to be this long, but you only get to do a premiere of the first time that you get to host the top five one time. So I wanted to make it extra special. And I appreciate you sticking around. But let's get to it. Amazing job, everybody. Everything was fantastic. I mean, none of these were bad by any stretch or standard. In first place, we do have the Akiras. Tied for second, actually, was Busting My Ashley and Widow Bite. Then we've got Goldfinger 76, followed up by a fantastic job by Dark One. That was the first time I had heard that name mentioned. Um, and I'm a pretty avid follower of contests and stuff like that. Fantastic freaking job, everybody. And for the people who didn't make it, trust me, it didn't mean that you did bad by any means. I mean, these were really awesome. Um, I'm surprised that actually, when we did the math on our ballots and everything, that we actually have it tied for second. Fantastic work, though. And I do want to give a special shout out to Dazmid. Amazing build. You barely did not get in. You definitely deserve that honorable mention. And not only that, um, Humble Trav has spoken with Dazmid, and he's going to be using the video that he entered as a tips and tricks to some of the people who are beginning filming, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of a head start um, and being able to film your camps and stuff like that. But he's being kind enough to let Trav chop his video up and use it because Dazmid, that is a master class in filming, my friend. Great job. Well, if you have stuck around this long, you are truly dedicated. And again, the top five's not going to be this long and drawn out. This was an editing freaking nightmare. I'm not even going to admit how many hours that it took. But I had to do something special. Like I said, you only get to do it for the first time, one time. And this is going to be something that I'm going to have as a memory for a very long time. It's definitely an honor. I love the hell out of you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Now, let's cut over to the workshop and then we're going to roll the credits. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.
Yeah.